people, I think, hoping that he would either have apologized, would have stayed quiet in the first place, or maybe now would potentially resign. Of course, we'll be watching this story. Professor Dershowitz, always great to get your perspective. Thank you.
Thanks for having me.
Yeah. All right. Well, the Israel Innovation Fund has also released a statement about its decision to part ways, saying in part, quote, true leadership in the fight against anti-Semitism demands moral clarity and courage, the courage to confront hatred wherever it appears, from the far right to the far left, and the intellectual mainstream that seeks to normalize or excuse it. Dr. Roberts' continued organizational alliance with Tucker Carlson runs counter to Project Esther's mission to erode support for anti-Semitic behavior and to expose the individuals and organizations supporting such conduct. Joining us now is founder and CEO of the Israel Innovation Fund, Adam Scott Bellos. Adam, thank you so much for joining us here. You heard what Professor Dershowitz said. We just read that statement. Do you think Roberts should step down based on his comments?
Thank you so much for having me. And a follow-up after Professor Dershowitz is obviously an honor. I do believe Mr. Roberts needs to step down. It's impossible to fight anti-Semitism with those who platformed it. There's really nothing more that we wanted to see other than a retraction, not only of the comments, an apology, a condemnation of Tucker himself, and for Mr. Roberts to step down. And we have not seen that. Thus, we needed to pull out of the project as well.
Adam, what do you think the biggest challenge moving forward is to fight anti-Semitism, especially when it pertains to young men? And I see that kind of growing within that demographic rapidly.
That's a very good question. I think the most important thing to fight anti-Semitism really comes down to the Jewish people themselves organizing properly and encouraging Jewish strength and connection to Israel. But also, I think Jewish self-defense has to become a major priority, given the way that the United States is moving towards pre-war Europe. And we see this both on the left and the right. And unfortunately, Jewish organizations chose access over results and chose to ignore not only the rise of anti-Zionism and anti-Israelism and anti-Semitism on the far left. They chose to ignore it emerging on the far right. And now the Jewish people in America are going to be caught in the horseshoe of anti-Semitism as it continues to unfold and permeate American society.
Adam, would you also potentially put the blame or some of the blame on the current system of education, particularly here in the United States, where a lot of historical teachings, whether it's about the Holocaust or even about September 11th here in New York City, are either being erased or told from a very different lens and maybe even sharing a different reality?
I think it's very interesting what's going on. If you look at kids in China or you look at kids in Russia, or really any other country, they're being taught to love their country and to love the people of their country. And you don't see that in America anymore. They're being taught to hate their country, to hate their narrative and where they come from. And the American people are developing somewhat of a self-loathing perspective on themselves. And let's be honest, the emergence of anti-Semitism always means the downfall of a society, the crumbling of a civilization. And the American story begins with the founding fathers thinking that they were fulfilling the destiny of the Bible in many respects. The original founding fathers thought the 13 colonies were the new 12 tribes of Israel. The Hebrew values that helped build the American story are undeniable in American history.
Yeah, certainly a big issue. Yeah, moving forward. It's on the right and left at this point.
Yes.
It is both groups going to be very tough to tackle moving forward. Adam, we appreciate you coming on.
Thank you for your time, and thank you for having me.
Absolutely. Okay, coming up, going to take things up north to St. Paul.